Hello everyone, it's Jeff here, back with another video. This time it's a contest video for Flash Gordon's one record at a time, get me to 100 subs contest. Several people in the VC recently have made entries, like Hannah and Andy from Andy's Vinyl Den. I checked out Flash Gordon's channel and I watched the contest video, so I subscribed and I'm throwing my hat into the ring for the contest. So I checked out Flash Gordon's channel, you know, liked what I saw, and of course being a newer VC member, want to share the love here and get as many subscribers as we possibly can for him. So hope this contest does well for you. I'm sure it will. And I'm just going to get into my entry. Before I do, I made a mistake in yesterday's Spin Zone video. I said that my anniversary in the VC was the 15th, which is today, and it's not. It's actually the 25th. So, yeah. So the big shout-out celebration is going to get pushed back for 10 more days. So just wanted to say that because a few people have been congratulating me in the comments. I'm not quite there yet. That was my mistake. Sorry about that. Okay. On to the contest, and I wrote the questions down here. The first question, and there's 5 questions, and they're pretty simple, and I think they're fairly common contest questions, so I'm gonna rip through this pretty fast. Your craziest album cover. In terms of, I don't know how you would define crazy, but this cover here for Roger Waters' solo album, Is This the Life We Really Want, I think is kind of nuts because, of course, it looks like a heavily redacted document, you know, with just a few words showing through for the title. It seems pretty apropos for the times these days. And of course the back cover continues in that design, and throughout the album too. I could pull this out and show you the gatefold here. As you can see, all that. So it just strikes me as a pretty timely, pretty, I don't know, cynical, sarcastic rip at what's going on in today's world. So as far as being crazy in that regard, this is the best that I came up with, because I didn't really go like the super artistic route. I went for something a little more dystopian. So that's just the feel, the vibe I get from this album cover. So this is the answer to the first question. Your craziest album cover. The second question, what else do you collect besides records? Well, Flash, if you subscribe to my channel and watch a couple of my videos, you will probably come across the fact that I'm a big comic collector. It's no secret that's probably, I've got way more comics than I do records. And unfortunately, like I said in past videos, the vast majority of it's packed away in storage. But I do have a lot of hardcovers and graphic novels and trade paperbacks still at home on my bookshelves. So I'm going to show you, just to have something to show you. This is the Marvel Masterworks series of hardcover remastered reprints of classic Marvel comics. And one of the questions that I always get if someone asks, whenever they find out about comics, is like, the question's either like, what's your most expensive comic, or what's your most valuable comic, or like, what's your longest run? So I went with the third one to show you here. If you count books like these and original issues, I've got Captain America from his first appearance, well, not his first modern appearance, that was Avengers number 4, but as in a solo book, it was in a comic called Tales of Suspense in the 60s. Tales of Suspense was what they call a split book, because one half of the comic would be devoted to one character, and the second half would be devoted to the other. So, Tales of Suspense number 58, which I own an original copy of, was the first time that Captain America joined Iron Man in the comic Tales of Suspense with his own series. That series ran all the way through number 99, and then by then the two books split, and Cap got his own separate full-length comic. And so I've got the entire Tales of Suspense 58 to 99 run with Cap and Iron Man, and then from number 100 I've got through number 214. So it's almost like a 13-year, almost a 14-year run of Captain America, if you count these collections in there, because they're not all original issues, and some are hardcover, some are softcover reprints on certain parts of the run. So in that regard, that's probably my longest, one of my longest runs. It would be like 160 some comics. Probably my longest run overall would be Conan the Barbarian. I've got the first 200 issues of that, but I don't have any Conan to show you, so that's why I went with Cap. All that stuff's packed away. So yeah, comics is it's still a big part of my life. Even though I don't buy new comics anymore, I've got more than enough already that I bought. Like I said, who did I say in the comments to my last video? I bought new comics every single week for like 35 years straight, from like 83 through this year. So that was a hard habit to break. I've pretty much broken it, and I don't feel bad. It's fine. I'm not saying I'm never going to buy a new comic again, but it's a big part of my life. Much more than records, even though all I talk about on these videos is pretty much records. So besides that, I would say comics is my big collecting thing. And I'll just show you the back cover here. You can see some of the covers of some of the reprinted issues in here. And these Marvel Masterworks are really beautifully done reprints. I'll just show you. It's printed on very nice paper. The art and the coloring has all been remastered. Everything looks nice and crisp and clear, because as much as a lot of the old guys, and I'm becoming one of those old guys too, quickly, as much as older comic collectors think that newsprint was the best thing to make comics out of, the reality is it's a lousy medium for reproducing finely detailed artwork, which oftentimes gets lost in the non-transfer on the cheap-ass paper. But that's a whole other thing. I'm not gonna derail this with a comic paper discussion. But anyway, these books are great. They've allowed me to read and get my hands on so much of the Silver Age and Bronze Age Marvel that I probably never would have been able to read before if I had to track down the separate issues. So, love this stuff, and Captain America is one of my favorite characters ever. So, there's that. That was a very long-winded answer to that question. Okay, third question. Your favorite album of all time? Again, this could be answered a million different ways. If I were to go off of my top 100 list, which you should check out Flash, I did that several months ago. I did a top 100 series. My number one album, do I want to spoil it for you? Are you going to watch all 10 episodes? Probably not. I'll spoil it. The Who Live at Leeds was my #1 album. But, I mean, you know, that was then, this is now. Things change. It's I'm not saying it's any less my favorite than any other album. But one that I can tell you that I've played multiple times and have lived with and have absorbed into my DNA is Big Star. This album right here. Their first album is called #1 Record. This is not an original copy from Ardent Records. This was a remaster from the 80s, from 1986. It's from the UK. And I was able to grab this album and Radio City from the same eBay seller, the same auctions. And yeah, I mean, Big Star is probably the best band you've never heard of. They're kind of like a power pop outfit. They started out as a 4-piece, which is the lineup in this on this album, and then with their subsequent 2 albums, they were a 3-piece, a trio. But yeah, if you've heard anything about Big Star or know anything about their story, and the music is just fantastic. I love it. And I'll probably be listening to this till the day I die. So there are many, many other candidates out there for favorite album of all time. I mean, like I said, I just went with one that has probably made one of the bigger impacts on me musically. And so I went with Big Star #1 Record as one of my favorite albums of all time. All right. Question number 4. What is your record player and what kind of cartridge do you use? Okay. Let's bring the camera over this way. I've shown this before. This right here. Whoop. Sorry. Let me turn this down a bit. This right here is a Project, the Classic. It's called the Classic. It's their 25th anniversary version of their turntable. It's made to look like the old Thorens turntables with the wooden plinth and the aluminum or metal inset. And the cartridge that I run, actually the one that came with this turntable, because I got the SB Super Pack version of this turntable, which came with the leather mat, the speed control, which allows me to not have to take the platter off and switch the belt around if I want to play 45 or 33. And this plays 78s as well, even though I don't own any 78s. And it came pre-installed with a Sumiko Bluepoint #2 cartridge, which is this right here, if you can see. And this was the first moving coil cartridge that I've ever used. All the other cartridges that I've used before have been moving magnet. Like U-Flash, in my previous turntable, I ran a Ortofon 2M Red on it also. Loved it, loved the sound. For the money, I think that's about the best cartridge, about the best budget cartridge you can buy today, currently. Actually, I went through 2 of those. And, but this one came with the Sumiko. So, like I said, it's my first moving coil cartridge, and I find that the detail in the music is way larger. It's way more than what you get with a moving magnet. Just my opinion. I know moving coils have their good and bad points as well. But as far as I'm concerned, it just blows away anything in the from what I've had before. So, and you were talking in your video, your contest video, about upgrading your 2M red to like either the bronze or the black. If you wanted to just go to the next level up, which would be the blue, you can just change the stylus on it. That's all. That's the only difference between the red and the blue is the stylus, which is kind of a neat thing because it's can save a good bit of money. I didn't know if you know that, but as far as this goes, the stylus is not removable on this one. So, yeah, you know, it's a and it's more expensive than the Ortofon by far. So let me just straighten this up. Move the camera back here. So in the realm of turntables, you know, this is a step up from like the Audio-Technica LP120s, but it's nothing like the high-end turntables that other VC members have, like, you know, VPI units and stuff like that, which I've seen and I lust over. They're great, but don't have the bucks. But this falls kind of somewhere in the middle. So it's audiophile-ish, I guess you could say, because I certainly paid enough money for it. But I've had this almost for a year now. I think I got this last October, so nearly a year I've had it. Couldn't be happier with it. And records that I've remember playing on my old turntable, which is now my backup, I've listened to again with this thing, and it just, the difference is night and day in terms of warmth and sound quality and detail. It's just awesome. So that's the answer to that question. All right. And the last question. Show a record from an artist whose name begins or ends with F. Once again, I went with a classic. Can't go wrong with this album as far as I'm concerned. Should be in everyone's collection, in my opinion. Frampton Comes Alive, Peter Frampton. Enough said. Can't get any better. And in terms of double live albums, I think, just fold out the gatefold here. You can see the entire picture here. I've listened to this album, I don't know, 1,000,000 times. I'll probably listen to it 1,000,000 more times in my lifetime. So, yeah. When I saw this question, this was the first thing that came to my mind, so I just pulled it out of the stack. And here it is. Frampton Comes Alive is my F artist album. And that's it. Those are the 5 questions. I'm going to upload this shortly, and I will leave a comment in your contest video flash letting you know that I made it. If you like, check my channel out. If you like it, you can subscribe. I'd appreciate that too. And yeah, it's nice to come across more new VC members. So I like the community to keep growing. So we have to support as many channels as we can. All right, that's going to be it for me. Thanks for watching, everyone. Peace, and I will talk to you later.